Big Think. This is Doug Chandler. Um, um, I was just watching one of your latest videos with John Fullerton. It was talking about natural ways for our economy to work. I guess I can't really repeat much of it because I understand it, but I don't. I don't understand a lot of the words involved in it. Anyways, what this is this whole greed thing is actually causing a natural way of balance. I'm in Bonnie Lake right now, and I actually became homeless on purpose because I saw something that was going on in people. One of the, let me see, one of the things is, and you're seeing it in kids, if you look at America's Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent, you're starting to see people in there that they're, I was watching one the other day. It was a 6-year-old kid that I understand exactly how his mind works, and he was just amazing, the judges, because they couldn't figure out how a kid that young could talk back to people in various conversations and make complete humor out of it, because he thought kind of backwards, or he read between the lines. I've been doing that for quite a while now, and I understand now how it works. It's our minds basically expanding. You'll see this with homeless people and kids today. Anybody who has lost, does not have the greed for money, greed for other things, which creates this bad economy. They are expanding their mind by not having that in their thoughts. I call it compartmentalizing. Let's look at our minds. Our minds are like a computer, but when you have a desktop, that's a complete disaster. On a PC. When you have a desktop that's a complete disaster, and you just have shit all over it. It's confusing. Well, we're moving into a time to where our minds, because this greed, this economy is driving it too. It's ultimately going to fall, whether we like it or not. It's going to fall. How do I put it? Basically, let's just look at it from a computer standpoint. Let's say if you clean up that desktop so it's not such a mess, you start to file files into appropriate categories, and in your computer, or I think you get the idea. Putting stuff into categories and putting information into the correct area. Well, if you do that efficiently, which a lot of people are starting to do now, and I actually did this a long time ago, and I didn't realize what I was doing until just recently, is that you don't remember when you don't remember everything. You actually you file things in the back of your mind, and when you need it, your mind finds the file that you need. This is the explanation for a lot of these kids, and not even kids, adults too. You look on, like Britain's Got Talent, America's Got Talent. You look at all these amazing people on there that are, they do, the way they talk, the way they can joke around and stuff. They don't actually remember. They're not an act. It's natural for them, because they've basically, I talked about it in another video, they've ascended to a higher level of understanding. And doing this, following our thoughts like this, it's almost like, it's like having Alzheimer's, I guess. Now, I don't consider Alzheimer's to be a disease. I consider it to be a gift. Now, take it or leave it, I don't know. Maybe there is an Alzheimer's that isn't, but to me, it is, because when I'm actually talking with somebody, as opposed to making a video, making videos is really hard for me to do because I forget where I'm at. But when you're talking with somebody and you go back and forth talking, you're constantly reminding each other where you're at in a conversation. So it's easier to go with the flow, put it that way. So making a video, I tend to forget stuff very quickly because I don't have that reminder from the other person of where I was at. Anyways, so I can't even say it now. I've okay, hold on. So basically we're putting files in the back of our mind in order, in groups that they belong in, and when we're talking with somebody and we come around to needing a file out of that, a certain group, we just kind of pull it from there and use it, and then throw it back, put it back, and then forget that we just, and essentially forget that we just use it. I mean, I talk to people, I tell people, I've got the memory of a goldfish. Well, that's true and that's not. On a conscious level, it's true. On a subconscious level, it's absolutely not. I'm retaining so much information, it's ridiculous. The amount of, just from a few hours of just walking around and stuff, the amount of information I gather now is insane. I'm currently, well, I used to think that I couldn't learn another language. And English is, well, I don't know, not the greatest language. So I got into Duolingo through, I was kind of motivated through personal experience with somebody that I want to be with. She's German, so I went on there to start learning German, and I started to realize that one language wasn't enough. It wasn't a challenge for me. It was kind of boring to just learn that one language, extra language. So I'm doing this on Duolingo, and I started adding tons of other languages. I was starting with around 10 languages or so, trying to learn all of them. Now that was getting a little confusing. That's just kind of, I think, getting a little bit beyond where I was at, or where I'm at for now. Maybe in a few weeks, a month or something, maybe I'll be able to do that. So I'm cutting it down to about 6 or 7 languages. That's just, I don't know. I've never really tried to learn other languages before, so I don't know what that would be considered. I don't know. It seems to be like it's, for me, that's amazing to be able to learn that many languages at the same time. And because a lot of them are similar too, and that's one of the things that makes it really tough. But by compartmentalizing those languages, it's easier for me to access what I need when I'm learning a specific language. So I think I'm probably going a little bit overboard on that many languages, but it presented a challenge for me, and our minds like to be challenged. Our minds do not like to sit around and do nothing. They just get lazy when they do. My mind is definitely not lazy anymore. I just can't stop with thinking of new ideas, just ideas that some of them are just so obvious, yet nobody can come up with it. It makes you wonder how mentally stupid people are nowadays, because they are limiting their minds, limiting their thinking to just a little, tiny little life. See, you don't want to limit yourself. Limiting yourself is the absolute, limiting yourself in anything is, well, I shouldn't say that. Limiting your way of your thinking, limiting your thought patterns is a very bad idea. This is what our economy has driven into us. It's caused us to limit our thinking. And well, there you go. You got it right there. Your name of your YouTube channel is Think Big. Well, I started doing that a few months ago, and I didn't limit my thinking. The only limit I put on my thinking was to this planet. I didn't limit myself any more than that. So I don't limit myself to what I can do in this little town of Bonnie Lake or something like that. Although I have started to lately because I've been getting too involved in the society around here. I need to get out of here. Because I asked myself a question several months ago. I asked myself, how can I help my family? This was a question that it wasn't very direct. It wasn't very, what do you call it? Specific. It wasn't a very specific question. It didn't, if you don't specify a question exactly what you're asking, you might just come up with absolute craziness, or if you don't understand it, or you come up with answers that are huge. And when I asked, how can I help my family? Well, I realized one thing is that we are all part of a whole. Everybody on this planet is my family. We are all just, like I said, we are just part of a whole. I understand this very much and in far more depth than I could even try to explain on this video. But because I asked that question, I didn't specify my personal family, my closest family. I was starting to give answers on how to help the world, the planet. And there are so many ways, so many things we could do to just change things. And I kind of get this feeling that people are trying to control me. Well, I know a lot of people are trying to control me. They're trying to stop me from getting my ideas, because they're honest ideas out there. I've developed, it's just insane. I've developed a love for everything, for all creatures. So much so that I can't willingly kill something. You think that, this might just be crazy, but because of that, I see potential in everyone. I see huge potential. And since I focus on only positive things, I can see what each and every person can become. If they just started thinking right. If they started to become honest with themselves. First you start becoming honest with yourself, then you can become honest with others. When you do that, you start to love people for who they are. I'm not talking about in a sexual way. It's a deeper kind of love that I don't think we've seen in a long time. Anyways, I'm going to cut this video short. I'm going to upload this video, and then I'm going to post a link to it in I don't know why I'm telling you this. Because if I post a link on there and you go to it, then at the end of the video you're gonna hear me telling you I'm posting a link that you already went to. That's pretty funny. But see, this is how these people. You're seeing this in a lot. Sorry, I said it was going to be the end, but I guess not. You're seeing this in a lot of people that, in kids especially, but a lot of people that are going homeless, they're losing everything they have. So they have, when they have nothing else to lose, and all they want to do is survive, they think completely different. And when you go and you talk to them, well, when I talk to them, because I've developed this honesty in my life and this love for all things, it's just like I enhance them, and I'm able to make them completely positive when they're around me, and it's just amazing because it shows them. I help boost their ability to become something better, and it's just amazing to see this in people. And I don't understand. There's a lot of things I don't understand, but this I do understand it. I understand it's going to change the world. I even developed a game lately. I haven't shared it with anybody. It's called Honesty. Yeah, it's a game that will change the world if put out in the right venue. That, amid many other things, I just got to stop this. One of the things I found about doing things is if you moderate yourself in each thing, when you're doing stuff, if you moderate yourself in things, what I do is when I'm going out doing stuff during the day, I'll do something for like 15-20 minutes, and then I'll just like go do something else, totally random. By doing that, my mind, and I'm sure you understand this very well, is that your mind keeps working on things in the background. So what you're doing is rather than focusing on one thing, just one idea, and this is where drugs and money and stuff become a serious problem, is when you focus on just money, you're limiting your thinking so much to just what you can do with money, and that's it. So, and you don't subconsciously, you don't keep your mind really active. But for me, what I do is about 10-15 minutes, or it doesn't have to be a specific amount of time, but I moderate myself in what I'm doing and my thoughts, and I jump to something else because I know I'm in the back of my mind will keep working on that subconsciously. Each of those things that I do, it'll keep working on it, and eventually later on, I'll come up with a solution to it. I'm not asking anybody else for the solution. The solutions are within us. Each one of us has the solution to all of our questions. You just got to be patient. You put your mind to work on it, it will work on it. Okay. I just dropped my phone twice. This is a sign that I need to get off the subject. Anyways, I'm not going to tell you the link thing again, but yeah, I'll post this. Hopefully this gets somewhere. And yeah, you can find me wherever. Doug Chandler. You can find me in Bonnie Lake or whatever. Or you want to learn some stuff? Yeah, get a hold of me. Bye. Have a good day.